Greetings to you on the channel Script for Business. Today in the video we will create a Telegram bot that will respond to user messages and save messages to Sheet. To create a chatbot, we need a built-in Telegram service called BotFather. You will need to find it in the search by his name and start a conversation. This bot will create your own chatbot. At the beginning of the dialogue, it will offer you a set of commands with functions that it can perform, and also links to developer documentation on what bots can do. You can see them. And the most important thing for developers is the Telegram bot API guide. We will refer to it constantly. So, let's create a bot. We write the new bot command. We are asked to enter the name that we want to assign to the bot. Now you need to write a username that have to be unique. It must end in bot. Excellent. You have created the bot and its main identifier is its token. So let's turn to the documentation. What can we do with our bot? We can see the data about the bot. We create a request and refer to our bot by its token. For this, we use the getMe method. All requests to the bot are executed by the Telegram link, bot token and call method. Let's try to contact the bot using this link. To do this, copy the link. We insert the token of our bot and execute the request. As a response, we get the first name of the bot, username, some unique settings, as well as the unique ID of our bot. This data comes in JSON format, so it's more convenient to read it using a Chrome extension. We have received data about the bot. Next, create a new table. You can go to your Google account and create a Google Spreadsheet, or write sheet.new on the line. This will create a new table in your account. Let's name the new table bot and open the script editor. The script editor will be linked to your sheet. Let's call it script bot. Now let's do the same procedure that we did through the browser, but now through the script. To do this, let's name function getMe. We use the URL fetchup class, the fetch method, and specify the URL to be accessed. To see the response from Telegram server, we use the console.log login mechanism and the getContentText method. Set the script and execute the function. The first time the function is executed, Google will ask for permissions. These permissions are issued for the script to interact with your account. Depending on which Google services the script is accessing, these permissions will change. We request to an external service. The response is identical to the response via the browser address bar. Excellent. Let's call this function getMe. This is just a name. It will work the same as before. Let's make the function more convenient. Let's move the token variable into the global scope. Now this variable will be able for any functions of our script. We refer to the bot by reference, add the token which we have moved to a variable, and use the getMe method. We check again, works great. Now let's transfer the data from the bot to the table. To do this, you need to install webhook and deploy our script as an application. Make a new deployment if this for the first time. Select the type of deployment as a web application, run it on your behalf, and allow everyone on the internet to get access. After a successful deployment, we will need a link to the web application. Add the web app URL variable to the script and assign the link value to it. The bot will use this link to access the script. To do this, set up a webhook using the setWebhook method. Let's copy the getMe function and call it setWebhook. Move the variable web app URL inside the function. Replace the method with setWebhook and specify the URL web app URL. Execute the setWebhook function. The response is webhook was set. Excellent. Now when we write to our bot, all data is transferred to our script. The doPost function with the argument e is used to process this data. Back to the sheet. Use the Spreadsheet tab class, the getActiveSheet method to access the active sheet. We refer to the range 1, 1, which means the first row, the first column. Let's write JSON formatted data into this cell using the setValue method. So, we wrote the doPost function, and when the bot receives a message, it transfers the data to the script. Now, it is imperative to make a new deployment. I recommend doing this through managing the deployment, editing and installing the new version of the deployment. Why is it so? Because when creating a new deployment, as we did before, it is possible for the web app URL reference to change. We issue new permits. Now let's see how the data sets into the sheet. Let's write to the bot and the data appears in the sheet. The data that is important to us is stored in the post data object and the following contents object. In order to get exactly this data, we will specify the contents variable into which we will place the formatted contents object. We create a new version of the deployment and check what happens. Let's write to our bot. We have received data of the following type: ID messages, data from whom the message came, chat data in which the message was received. ID from and chat are the same because the bot received a private message. The data the message was received in Unix time, and also the text of the message. Let's try it again. How can bot send us a message? For this, we will use the sendText function. It uses the chat ID and text arguments. The description of the method of this function can also be found in the documentation. You can see that these function arguments are required. We will look at our parameters in the following videos. We also refer to the method by reference. However, we pass the data using the post method. In this way, you can transfer keyboards, media files, modify send messages, and much more. To do this, in the payload variable, you must specify the Telegram method and specify the parameters. Let's send a message using the sendText function. To do this, create a send function in which specify the chat ID and text variables. Then call the sendText function with these arguments. Let's put our ID in the chat ID variable and hi, how are you in the text variable. Now execute the send function. Completed, and the bot wrote a message. Hi, how are you? Fine. Now let's try to use the sendText function to make the chatbot respond with the same messages that users send to it. To do this, we need to get the user's chat ID and text. We specify the chat ID variable. Its value is contents.message.chat.id. We specify the variable text, which is contents message text. Then we call the sendText function, save, execute a new version of the deployment because we have changed the part of the script that relates to message handling. Let's see what we've got. Write to the bot hi. The bot replies with hi. How are you? How are you? In this case, the same messages into the sheet. How can we save all messages from users? Let's change the line of writing data to the sheet. Rename the sheet to the messages. Now we refer to the sheet by name. We write the data not to a specific cell, but add a row. For this, we use the appendRow method. We add data to the table as an array of chat ID and text. Save the new version of the deployment, trying to write hi. The bot responds and writes the chat ID and message at the first line. Let's write how are you, or repeats, etc. Today we have learned how to create a chatbot, send it a message from a script, process messages received from the bot, and log them in a Google Sheet. Sheet and script on the links in the description. Set like if you like the video, dislike if you don't, write comments, subscribe to the channel. In the description there is a Telegram group where you can ask questions. See you!